Valentino Livramento.
Exactly. Does not sound English at all.
Oi, oi. Oh, shit. Born 12th of November
Oh, yeah.
in Croydon.
Just a different year, I assume.
Yeah, 2002.
So only the 7 years after you.
Yeah. I'm a better baller than him as well. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Footy Fetish podcast with myself, Alfie, and Ollie.
Yo.
Once again, it's just us two for you this week. Everyone else can't be fucked, mate. No, I'm joking. Everyone else just busy and doing some shit. So it's just us for you. We're going to preview the match. Well, yeah, game week 12 in the Premier League. We're finally back after that horrible break for international football that no one likes. But luckily, I don't think we've got another one now to like February or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's like 3 or 4 months or something.
We can rejoice
Love that.
and bask in the glow of Premier League football for a few months now.
I think there is obviously AFCON. And
oh yeah, there was talks about that being
international, a small sort of winter break or whatever that they normally do for like 2 weeks or something at some point. But
yeah,
nothing too bad.
Yeah, there was some rumours about the AFCON not being on this for January, February time.
Yeah.
But as far as I can see, it looks like the games have been scheduled, so I'm imagining it is going. We're two teams that will be suffering quite a few losses, I imagine, from our starting teams for that. Liverpool as well will suffer.
Yeah, I don't think we've got that many. We've got Uber.
We lose Oba.
Pepe.
That's alright.
Partey, yeah. That's about it, I think. Maybe Mari. I don't care about Mari. He can go. He can stay gone. I don't care about him.
I don't know.
Pablo Mari. I'm not sure if he's African.
I think he's Brazilian.
Lokonga, maybe. Can't remember where Lokonga's from. But
I think he's Belgian. Lokonga.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but that doesn't matter. So let's get into Le Football. We'll start with the biggest game of the week, Ollie, and ironically, that's you boys.
I know.
Arsenal versus obviously Liverpool hosting Arsenal. Fortunately, though, for you, Liverpool seem to be having a torrid time of injuries at the moment. They've got Origi, Robertson, Firmino, Jones, Gomez, Keita, and Milner all out. Apparently, Mane is. I don't think Mane's been confirmed yet. I think he's a bit. I think they're going to assess him before the game and see how they go. So they've got a few injuries. Obviously, they're coming off their last loss. Well, their last game was a loss. 3-2 away loss at West Ham at the London Stadium, where they were definitely outperformed in that match. I know there was a few decisions that could have maybe changed things for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll be chomping at the bit to bounce back and obviously against the team as well, and you guys that have sort of started to come into their own a bit and improving their form. Obviously, you guys are going to have Kolasinac and Xhaka definitely out, and I don't know if you've seen, but Thomas Partey is doubtful as well after picking up a slight knock.
Yeah. I think
that boy needs to get
Xhaka and Kolasinac. I'm not really too worried. Xhaka's been out for quite a while anyway. We don't really play Kolasinac. I actually think our best lineup doesn't include either of those two anyway. Partey's the only one that I'm slightly worried about, but it's okay.
Yeah. How do you feel about Partey? Because he does seem to just be an injury magnet, doesn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. He does get. It's never really like a long injury. It's just like a week or two, but it's more frequently. I'd like to see him fitter for longer, but yeah, obviously he can't maintain that at the moment. But if it's just a case that he needs to recover for a little while longer, like instead of just taking 2 weeks out, take a month out and properly recover and then come back 100%, as opposed to sort of coming back when you're still not 100% there and then you end up getting a knock again.
I'm looking now, he's had 5 separate injuries since he's joined you guys. He had a muscle injury that came at November 9th, 2020. He was out for 26 days. Came back on the 5th of December. Then on the 6th of December, he picked up a hip injury, which kept him out for 35 days. Which then on the Jan 28th, he was out for 1 day. Then February 7th, he picked up a hamstring injury, was out for 15 days. And then an ankle injury picked up. He's been out for 28 days. Obviously, he's come back now and then picked up another injury. So it's, yeah, like you say, he's missed how many games? Eight. He's missed 22 games already for Arsenal this year through injury in his time since joining, which is quite alarming really when you look at that, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think last year was a bit more of one of those situations where we weren't 100% sure what it was going to be like anyway. It was his first season with us.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have got huge amounts of game time, but again, obviously the injuries probably didn't help the amount of game time he was getting. I think he's sort of shown this season, like when he is fit, he's a lot better, and he's a lot, so he can do the job to a better ability. And he had a bit of a slow start, I think, probably because of the lack of games and everything last year. But no, I'm happy with the progress he's making now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think he has definitely played well, but obviously the best ability is availability, and he just isn't that. So I don't know. Maybe you give him another season. Maybe you give him another season after this year, and if things keep going as they are, then you're going to have to look for someone else, aren't you? Really. But if he can get this, if he can shake this off, get some good run of form between now and the end of the season without picking up injuries, I'm sure he'll be fine, man. Maybe it's just getting up to speed with the Premier League as well. Because what he's been doing, he's been playing the La Liga for however long, so you could take days off in that league. But how do you feel about this game going into it now? Obviously, you see the Liverpool injuries now. You guys can pretty much start the same team that beat Watford. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect in this game. To be fair, I could genuinely see it going any result. I think we probably could get a win. I also think we could lose, but I also think we could get a point from it. So, I wouldn't even know what to predict for this game, to be honest. Liverpool are a good team. I know they've been obviously had a couple of bad games recently, but let's not underestimate them. They do also have a couple of injuries, but yeah, I don't think it's going to trouble them too much. The squad depth is pretty decent as it is, but I'm not really sure what to expect. I hope for the best, but I'm expecting the worst.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think you guys could definitely come away from this with a win. Definitely, I don't see why not. I think Liverpool, even though that loss to West Ham was their first loss of the season, at first. Well, not the first time that they've looked susceptible to goals. Obviously, we saw in the Brentford game. We've seen in other games that they do leak some goals. The Brighton draw.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no reason why you can't go to Anfield this weekend and get a result. I'm gonna play it safe and back Liverpool just because they're at Anfield and it's it's the safest bet to make. They still have Mo Salah, and as long as they have Mo Salah, they can do anything.
Yeah, I know.
So it should be interesting. But I would not be surprised if you guys go in there and take a point, maybe 3 away.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting because that will see you jump above them into 4th. And if that happens, there's as long as you beat Liverpool, you will be 4th. There's no other way that can get screwed up by United or whoever.
We're 2 points behind, aren't we?
Yeah. And you're 3 points ahead of Man United as it is, and they're probably going to lose to Watford, but we'll get onto that.
I'm going to back the boys for a win because it'd be rude not to. But whether or not I'm actually expecting them to win, that's a different question.
You guys starting to feel a bit dizzy? Are you starting to get a few nosebleeds? Not used to being up this high up the table at the moment.
It's it's one of those ones. But
I am, and we'll
soon get used to it again. We were there for 20 plus years, so it's like a muscle memory.
That's it. Yeah, that's very true. I wonder how. Yeah.
To be fair, I think there's probably only. Well, I don't think any of our team were there when we were last in the top 4. Maybe Aubameyang and Laka.
Rob Holding?
Oh, he doesn't count. He barely bloody plays, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he was there though. He was there.
Yeah. I wish he wasn't.
But yeah, so I think that'll be that was easily the biggest game of the weekend, and I think will be. Unfortunately, I'm working that day, so I won't be able to catch it. But I'll be able to catch second half. Actually, that's not too bad. Yeah. But yeah. That's the Liverpool Arsenal game. I think it'll be an interesting one for sure. I think both teams are going to really go for it. There'll definitely be goals. It won't. There's no chance it's being 0-0. Now that I've said that, it will be, but there's no chance it's being 0-0.
Yeah, no, I hope there's goals, but favouring Arsenal.
Favouring Arsenal, exactly. Right, Leicester Chelsea. This is an interesting one. Leicester City at home. You know, obviously coming off of a draw against Leeds in their last game out, which was, if you really look at it, they were kind of fortunate to get because they were definitely not the better side. From what the stats say anyway, they weren't the better side throughout. Obviously, they did score an outrageously good goal through Harvey Barnes, but then that's it, isn't it? In that game, if they didn't score an absolute screamer, which luck does come into that some way, doesn't it? If you're scoring a goal like that, if that hasn't happened, they're losing 1-0 to Leeds.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It was an instant reply as well. They kicked off, and within 20 odd seconds, Harvey Barnes had scored again. But there wasn't too much in terms of the build-up play. I think it was more of an individual goal as opposed to a good team goal. And that's kind of what I think Leicester will probably be a bit worried about. It wasn't the fact that the team did really well to get that goal and everything like that. It was literally Harvey Barnes had a moment of bliss, just took it and capitalised on it.
That's it, and they'll be a bit sad because they did suffer a bit of a huge blow losing Yuri Tielemans during the game in the 77th minute, which is random because it's supposed to be a calf and ankle injury. That is supposedly keeping out to early December time, which is obviously a pain for them because he's been really probably their best player this season. If you're gonna, aside from Vardy, who's been obviously their goal guy, I'd say Tielemans has probably been their best player, and then obviously he joins Bertrand, Albright, and Fofana and Justin all on the injury list again. A second season where Leicester have just been ravaged by injuries. Liverpool and Leicester both ravaged by injuries for a second season in a row. I wonder when it's time to maybe call the managers into question, because there's obviously something they're not doing right if their players keep getting injured and hurt again. Maybe not the managers, but I think in Liverpool's case, we were talking earlier on the group chat, that is FSG's problem, I believe. Not investing in the club, and you can't really say that about Leicester because Leicester have continuously invested in the club, but maybe it's just something in the water in Leicester is getting everyone hurt. But
I think we mentioned this in the pre-season. I think we dug Mark out a little bit about it, just saying that obviously Liverpool had done nothing in the transfer window, and they weren't really Mark's argument was the fact that they didn't need to do anything. They were happy with the team they've got, but evidently you do need to do some stuff to keep. Obviously, you don't know who's going to get injured.
What you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they want to do. Do they want to win the league, or they just want to get top four? Because if you just want to get top four, you'll get top four with the squad that you've got. But if you want to win the league, you're not going to win the league with the squad you've got.
Exactly.
Not when you've got Chelsea and City doing the madness like they have. I know Man United spent a lot of money, but apparently that doesn't seem to matter. They can spend the most of money in the world, and they will still be shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do need to talk to Bards about that soon, actually, about how terrible his Man United team are. Chelsea, on the other hand, I mean, they're kind of looking to bounce back as well after a disappointing draw. That's the tale. This is the tale of this game. Two teams bouncing back from disappointing draws, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Chelsea obviously at home to Burnley, drawing 1-1. They dominated the game throughout, but were just not clinical enough in their chances and just didn't really start. We know that they're missing Lukaku and Werner, but they are really starting to show.
Yeah, I think Lukaku could possibly play. I think when I checked a couple of days ago on my fantasy, there was a 50% chance of him playing. I don't know if that's changed since then. I need to have another look before the early kickoff on Saturday. But I hope he's back, because I really do think that's what they're missing at the moment, that sort of level of experience up top that can convert these chances that they're very capable of making, because they made a hell of a load of them in the Burnley game, but couldn't seem to convert much. So
he's been upgraded to doubtful, but I can imagine with that ankle, it is an ankle problem. So I can imagine maybe Tuchel gives him another week to rest up and get back to 100% because they're going to need him. They've got some big games coming up.
Yeah, well, they're United next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Out
So
in the park.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they probably could do that without Lukaku, to be honest. But they're also going to be without Mason Mount. Well, I saw that Mason Mount's doubtful. Could well feature, but he's had some sort of tooth problem or something. Marcos Alonso with an ankle problem, Kovacic with his hamstring, obviously say Lukaku with the ankle, and Werner with a hamstring problem. They're all set to probably miss out.
Did you see the video of Mason Mount after he got his wisdom teeth taken out?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was good. But hopefully he'll make a return. I mean, he hasn't really been starting anyway, so they might not miss him too much. But
Yeah.
hopefully he'll get a club. What do you reckon for this game then?
But yeah, I think Chelsea have got it in the bag, really. Leicester have been quite unimpressive. They look to have been sort of half on the comeback, and then obviously lost 2-0 to us. Only just scraped a draw with Leeds, and now they're playing Chelsea. Obviously, I know Chelsea didn't have a great game against Burnley, but they're a substantially better team in general, and they can have one game where they can drop 2 points. They didn't lose or anything, but they dropped a couple of points there, which they shouldn't have. But then again, yeah, it is Chelsea at the end of the day. I think they'll probably walk all over Leicester.
Yeah, I imagine that Chelsea will get the win. I think it's going to be tougher for them than they think it will be. I think Leicester they're starting to become a bit better at the back. I think obviously they've got huge, they probably would have I'd imagine James Justin and Wesley Fofana would be starting for them if they were fit, and that's 2 of the back 4. So
yeah, well, they were both very prominent starters last year when they were fit.
Yeah, exactly. I had Fofana in my team of the season last year. It's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to continue this season and keep going. But yeah, I agree. I think Chelsea will get it. I think it'll be a cagey 1-0 Chelsea win. I don't think there's going to be any sort of run over by them. Obviously, this would it's depending on what happened with the Man City game. Obviously, they're at home to Everton, but they could very well extend their lead to 6 points this weekend if everything goes well for them.
Yeah.
Still only conceded 4 goals this season. They've conceded 1 less than Norwich have scored. Which is insane, isn't it?
It says something, doesn't it?
In it. But yeah, I agree. I think Chelsea will get the job done. I think they'll stay. Once this week's done, they'll still be top of the league. I can feel it. Where should we go next? I guess we'll go to Man City Everton, as that is sort of a decently sized game. I think in this league. Obviously, City coming off a very good win. It wasn't anything scoreline wise, it wasn't anything crazy, but they did obviously beat City rivals Manchester United 2-0 at Old Trafford, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it was.
Yes, at Old Trafford. We're very comfortably, it seemed. I mean, if it hadn't been for De Gea, it could have been a 3 or 4-0 game, maybe even 5.
Definitely.
Yeah. Obviously, they've got no real new injury news. Obviously, Jack Grealish was sort of had a little knock, didn't he? But he was on the bench for. Was he playing for England in these internationals?
He left, and that was, I think, why Conor Gallagher got called up.
Yeah.
Because he flew home slightly early.
Yeah, he flew home slightly early. So I imagine that he'll probably be on the bench, maybe not starting, but maybe on the bench for City this week. You never know.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ferran Torres is their big missing player, who is going to be missing till at least mid-January with a foot injury. He was obviously doing pretty well. And then it's just the youngsters, Cole Palmer and Liam Delap, that seem to be out at the moment. But that's not going to phase them too much, is it? They're not really starters in this Man City team.
No, definitely not. I think Jack Grealish has been in the press a lot lately. The last couple of days, apparently he's seen about 3 different girls. One of them, Emily Atack, the girl that was in In-Betweeners.
Oh yeah.
One of them, Amber Rose Gill from Love Island. She shut it down apparently, but apparently he's still dating his high school sweetheart or whatever that he's been dating for years. So who knows? He's a man of many talents. So
yeah.
That's what he wants.
Who knows? I couldn't give a shit what he does off the pitch, as long as his performance on the pitch stay like they are.
Yeah, if he gets
especially when that World Cup rolls around next year.
Well, to be fair, he's not even done what you say. Stay as they are. But he's only scored twice, 2 assists so far this season. Not much.
True.
But
that's true. But he has been decent. He's not he stunk out of the place, but no, he's been all right. The team that is really stinking out of the place right now, though, is Everton.
Yeah.
They are struggling without Doucouré and Calvert-Lewin in that team. Yeah, I didn't realise how big of a player Doucouré is for them, man, in that midfield. I know that obviously he's a good player, but he's coming back early December. If they don't start picking up a few, they've got some tough fixtures coming up, I believe, Everton. Yeah, so Everton have got City this weekend, then they've got Brentford away, Liverpool at home, Arsenal at home, Palace away, Chelsea away, and then Leicester at home. So that's some tough games before Doucouré is going to come back,
Yeah, for sure. Probably not expecting to pick up that many points, being completely honest.
No, I can't imagine so. And we were talking about it previously, like what are the chances that Rafa Benitez makes these next 6 games out as a Premier League manager? Obviously, depending on how things go, an embarrassing result against Liverpool could well be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
I think, depending on how the fans react. But they've got a few injuries, like I said. Doucouré, Calvert-Lewin, Andre Gomez, and Yerry Mina are doubtful. They're going to be assessed, but I reckon they'll probably miss the game. And then Tom Davis is out with a muscle injury till mid-December, and Mason Holgate is currently serving the first of a 3-match ban for a straight red he picked up in the Tottenham game. A stupid red to pick up, considering he'd just come on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of Everton at the moment, man? Do you think that
they started off really promising, and obviously I know pre-season we gave them a lot of shit and said that they weren't going to do anything, and then we were kind of like, oh, they are kind of doing something at the beginning of the season now, and they've just proven us right that
you can't sustain Damari Gray and Andros Townsend as your 2 best players. Like, I love Andros so much. Unbelievable player for Palace. Well, unbelievable servant for Palace, I must say, during his time there. And but yeah, but you can't rest your whole everything on Damari Gray and Andros Townsend to drag you through a 38-game season. It's just never going to happen.
No, exactly.
And yeah, it's starting to show. Their backline is a bit of a joke, if I'm being honest. They conceded quite a few goals. Then going forward, they don't really have it aside from Damari Gray and Andros Townsend every now and then. Richarlison's the only thing they have that goes forward at the moment.
Yeah, and obviously
that is scary.
Yeah, well, he was coming back from injury. He's back now, but it's probably going to take him a little while longer to get back to sort of the level at where he was. So, yeah, they're going to be really needing Doucouré and Calvert-Lewin back. Do you know when Calvert-Lewin's back, did you say?
Let's have a look. Early December.
Oh, okay.
At the earliest. But with how his rehab's going, I can't imagine, he might not be back in time.
No.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Everton are a weird one. I mean, if things get really bad, they could even slip down to a relegation fight. I don't think that will happen because obviously you will have Doucouré come back, you will have Calvert-Lewin come back. So with enough time in the season to drag yourselves back into maybe like the top 12, top 11 maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it will get bad enough that they'll be fighting relegation. But yeah, I don't see it getting huge like leaps and bounds better in the immediate future.
No, I think I had Everton finishing above Palace before the season started, and right now I don't think that's going to happen. Not with the way we've been playing and they've been playing, but you never know what could happen, obviously. But yeah, I'm back in City quite obviously. I think this could get ugly, if I'm being honest, man. If City are feeling it, this could enter like a 4-0, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think like Pickford's a good goalie in that, but when they have so much going forward, and the only thing they're missing is Ferran Torres, who obviously is obviously a good player for them, but yeah, Foden, Grealish, De Bruyne, all these men are just going to be Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. It's just the list is so long, man.
Yeah, we talked about squad depth earlier with the sort of Liverpool and the fact they didn't really do anything in summer. Sort of City have shown what you can do with squad depth. They've got a good couple of players in each position. Essentially, it's a good problem to have as a manager, I think, having good squad depth, because yes, you might get a couple of players that moan at you because they're not getting game time and stuff like that, but I think you'd rather that than be sat there without anyone being able to play, or a load of crap players or whatever. So
100%.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of City players, like Pep's, I think is probably one of the sort of managers to say from the off, you're like, being completely honest, you might not get that much game time, because that's just how it is, and that's the team that they've got at the moment.
I was just looking at the stats, man. Salah's got 10 goals and 7 assists at the moment.
Stupid amounts.
It's insane, man. Yeah, but I mean, that's why Liverpool are in it, if we're being completely honest. Mo Salah. It's not down to the entirety of the team. It's down to the fact that they have Mo Salah is the reason why they're in.
I'd like to see where Liverpool would be right now without Mo Salah.
Well, if you take all the Salah goals and assists away,
Yeah, but where they would
yeah,
be in the league in terms of how
they-
that would
they-
have affected
they wouldn't
their
be in the top
matches. Yeah.
but I have no proof of it. But I'm sure they wouldn't be in the top 7. Right, next game, Tottenham Leeds. We'll give this one a little shout out because it's going to be a big game. It's a big game for both teams. Obviously, Conte, his first Premier League game didn't really go the way that he wanted it to go. If we're being honest, obviously a 0-0 draw with Everton. You know, the side didn't even register a shot on target. Very much in the same ilk of a Nuno showing. I didn't really see too much difference between the two sides, apart from the formation, if I'm going to be honest.
No, there really wasn't.
Obviously, one thing that Conte will be really hoping for is that Harry Kane could bring this goal-scoring form from international duty back to the Premier League. He got 7 in 2 games? Yeah, a hat-trick and then 4, wasn't it?
Was it 4 in the second? I didn't watch the San Marino game.
Yeah,
but I know he got 2 hat-tricks.
Yeah, I think it was 4 he got in the second game. So yeah, I think it's about 7. Yeah, 7 goals in 2 games he got for England. Obviously,
I think he scored a couple in the international break, well, the previous international break as well for England. So he can do it for England. Maybe this is his plan the whole time.
That's what I care about. That's what I care about.
That's
doing
it
it for England. But yeah, they've got a few players out. I don't know if you saw. Not helping my initial backing of the man, but Christian Romero's picked up another injury, and he's going to be out until early December. He was the best centre back in the Serie A last year for Atalanta. He was fantastic.
Yeah, we're in the Premier League now, mate.
Spurs have just ruined him, man. Honestly, he's such a top baller, and Spurs just ruined him. I'm still backing him. But obviously, Oliver Skipp's going to miss out with a one match ban from a suspension. I don't know. Did he get a straight red or is it an accumulation of yellows?
Probably an accumulation.
I'm imagining so.
I don't think he got a red card.
I can't remember the game he got a red in, to be honest, if he did. Højbjerg is doubtful for the game with a muscle injury, which is not great, along with Brian Gill and Ryan Sessegnon. So if Højbjerg is out, that's Conte's starting midfield duo out only for his second game in charge.
Not good.
No, Spurs just tin pot, man, aren't they?
Yeah, it must be an accumulation of yellow because I'm just having a look at for Skip because I'm just had a look at the last couple of results and he's not had a red card or anything. So
yeah, so I'm guessing it is just accumulation of yellows. Fair enough, but this could be interesting. Leeds, on the other hand, not doing what they would like to be doing right now. They have also got injuries. The likes of Bamford, Ayling, and Koch are out. All probably going to be out for this game as well. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, Rafinha's a big player. I don't know if you've seen, but there's a very strong possibility that Rafinha will be gone in January. There are a lot of teams looking for him, and he wants to play in the World Cup. And you're not going to get into that Brazilian team right now playing for Leeds. No, you need to move to a bigger team, not with the wingers and stuff that they've got on display. So I wouldn't be surprised, man. And if Rafinha leaves Leeds, I might put a bet on them going down.
Fair.
So I already think that it's a very good opportunity, but if their best player leaves, then it's really, really bad. But yeah,
who get 2 great odds?
No, probably not. No, probably not. But you never know. I don't think anyone actually believes they're going to go down at the moment. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, like we said,
they're only 3 points out of safety, man.
No, exactly. And we've said a couple of times they're doing sneaky bad at the moment. I think it's not massively. It hadn't been massively obvious how bad they were doing until the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, where we've kind of very quickly realised.
We sort of jumped on them a bit, like what are they doing? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't see them. They picked up their form a little bit, I suppose. I mean, their only 2 wins have come in their last 5 games. So fair enough. They're doing 2 draws, 2 wins, and a loss is not bad, but it's still not great considering where they are and how they started. But I think with the injuries coming back, they'll be fine. This game in particular, though, at the what is it? Spurs? What's it called? Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it? That's it. At the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Harry Kane's feeding himself. They have slight injuries. I'm going to back a Tottenham win here. I think it'll be a scrappy little 2-1, maybe a 3-1. But I think they'll get the job done and they'll kick Leeds to the side.
I want to hold out for a draw on this game because I don't want Conte to do well at Tottenham, unfortunately.
Absolutely fine.
But then again, I do need Harry Kane to start scoring if I'm going to do anything in this fantasy league so far. But I don't think a draw is sort of massively unrealistic. I think Tottenham probably will get a bit of the win, but I'd like to see a 1-1 or something, or a 2-2.
1-1 or a 2-2. Yeah, it's it would be interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't back Leeds in any sort of way to beat a team that's actually a decent team. Do you know what I mean?
You talking about Tottenham?
Leeds.
Yeah, but
I'm saying that. Yeah, but Tottenham are actually in terms of like in terms of Leeds, they're a decent team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They haven't done huge amounts since Conte's reign has started, but he hasn't had that much time really. He's only had one Premier League game and
he's played
one
test.
He had that one European Conference game that did they just about win it or something? They just won 3-2 or something.
Just beat the test 3-2.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it wasn't great. But I'm sure he'll be fine. You know, he's had a couple of weeks now to get the boys ready for a home game against Leeds. Like, you should be winning that. Yeah. Nuno would win that. I'm sure he would.
Yeah.
So he's got to be doing that, right? And a game that I'm not so sure about the better team getting a result here is Watford at home to Manchester United. Now, you might think I'm crazy, but Watford are a feisty team, man. They can stay. Obviously, you know, aside from that 5-0 drumming at Liverpool in Claudio Ranieri's first game, they won 5-2 against Everton. Then their last 2 games, they have lost, but it's only been 1-0 scrappy losses.
Yeah.
It's not been anything. They've not been like completely done out here. Yeah, what have they lost? Yeah, scrappy 1-0 loss to Southampton, and then like a 1-0 loss to you guys. It could have been a bit more, to be honest. If it wasn't for Aubameyang, it could have been a bit more. Although I'm just finger pointing at this point. I think it doesn't really matter, to be honest. But yeah, that's literally how they lose their games. It seems is 1-0s.
That's it. They don't seem to be able to keep that defence strong enough for the full 90.
No, and who have they got out? They got a few names out. They got Kucha out. I think it's his last game of a red card suspension.
Yeah, he got red carded against us.
Oh, okay. So it's his first game.
Well, who did we play? Did we play them last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. So it's his first. I think it was 2 yellows. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that makes sense then. So yeah. Okay,
so I think this will be his first and last.
Only, suspension. But and then I'll be honest, some dons that just do not matter. Ken Sema is the one that he's played 6 games this season, and Atibo has also played 6. But apart from that, they've got players that don't really seem to play too much for them that are injured. So I'm sure they'll be, as long as they got Josh King and Emmanuel Dennis, they can cause some problems for people.
Yeah.
United, on the other hand, what a mess this team is, mate. Honestly, you got Pogba out through suspension and injury, now not back till mid-January. You got Luke Shaw with a concussion, who's doubtful for the game. Edison Cavani still out with a tendon injury that's not going to see him come back till late November, and Varane out with a hamstring injury till early December. Like, this team, and then the whole thing with Ollie. Like, what do we know? Ollie's getting sacked, but he's not getting sacked.
Yeah, so basically
replacement.
Yeah,
so it's basically just that we're not sacking Ollie.
Yeah, so it's basically like they probably should have done with Steve Bruce and told him you can have the job until we find a better replacement, because don't think Steve Bruce should have been sacked until they'd actually found a permanent manager, rather than just obviously have a caretaker manager for a couple of games or however long.
They've lost every game under this caretaker manager, haven't they?
I believe so, yeah.
No, they haven't, because they drew with us.
Oh, right.
So yeah, no.
But with Ole, it's a case of let's find the manager, then sack him, because there's no point in sacking him and then having Michael Carrick take over for a couple of weeks until they find a better replacement.
That guy that looks like Phil Neville.
Yeah. The guy that we definitely thought was Phil Neville for a while.
It was Phil Neville for the longest time.
Yeah.
But, no, he's managing an MLS team and doing terrible at it.
Miami.
Into Miami, yeah. What a joke. Sorry, Bex.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. This United team is so funny. There's rumours that Sancho's going to be playing right wing back for them. Just get Ollie out of that team, bro. He has no fucking clue what he's doing. Like,
it's
no
got to the
clue
point
what
now,
he's doing.
I think, where he doesn't even have the dressing room. Like, I don't even think the players believe he knows what he's doing anymore. Like, we saw a couple of weeks ago, Ronaldo mocking him, like going like this on the pitch, like mocking him, trying to give all these instructions and directions. It's a bit like if one of the biggest players in the world, arguably the best player in the world, is mocking you live on TV in front of the rest of the team as well. Like, you've got to, like, from the players there should be a lot more respect there, but from Ole, he should command that respect, and he should like be able to have that without asking for it.
He doesn't.
No, exactly, he doesn't. So I think it's definitely time for him to go now. I think I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now, for probably 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, who are they going to bring in apart from Brendan Rodgers?
Conte. They should have brought Conte in.
They should have done. Imagine, like, the thing that I would love the most is if Conte would be like, fuck it, leave Spurs after 2 or 3 weeks of joining them and joins United, because that would make me laugh. But yeah,
that would be jokes actually. That would be kind of jokes.
Yeah, wouldn't happen though, unfortunately.
It'd be kind of interesting if they just threw a shitload of money at Graham Potter and were like, mate, it can't be any worse than what Ole's doing.
Yeah.
So get him in, man.
Did you hear what Brendan Rodgers had to say about it?
I saw that something about him just being very thankful that he's a Leicester manager and that kind of thing. I didn't really
find it. He was kind of pissed off that he was asked about it, really, I think.
Oh, fair. I mean, I don't really understand why they would want Brendan Rodgers, if we're being honest, but
I don't know. He said, firstly, it's really disrespectful for you to ask the question when there is a manager in the place at the club. Secondly, I can't comment on it because it's not real. I'm proud to be here at Leicester. So he's very much like not giving anything away at the moment, I think.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't think he would be. I think a lot of it is just paper talk and just rumours and stuff. I'm not sure if he would be a serious candidate for United, because why? He hasn't really done anything this season to show that he's worth taking the United job, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, what has he showed over his entire... If we're being honest, what has he showed over his entire Leicester career? I know he's done
won
well
the FA Cup, and that's
about
about it.
Fair enough, but if that's the criteria
takes,
that gets you into being a fucking Manchester United manager, then that's pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it will be interesting. I think, although to be honest, I have just said there's every chance that Watford could win this game. I do think United get the job done. I mean, they have to, right? They have to.
Yeah.
I
think if they don't, Ole's gone regardless of whether they've got anyone in the pipeline or not.
Yeah, because at that point you just got to roll it. Because surely there's nothing worse than having Ole in. If you're losing to Watford, there's nothing worse than having Ole in.
Yeah.
Like, just make Ronaldo manager for a few weeks.
Player manager, yeah. I think that's what a lot of people have sort of think is going to happen anyway. Like Ronaldo's going to take over at some point, but that's the thing. I think in an ideal world, yes, that would be lovely, having Ronaldo be a player manager or just take over as manager from the end of the season or whatever. But that could go as well as Frank Lampard went at Chelsea. It might not go very well at all, and then you could just be, I know it's Ronaldo, but you could be hated after that. Oh, you just ruined it even more. Like,
yeah, you don't want to ruin your legacy somewhere when you don't need to be doing it.
Exactly, and I don't even know if Ronaldo's even got his coaching badges or anything yet.
Can you become the manager without your coaching badges? You can't, right?
I don't think so.
Right, so
because I know you can probably do it on the job and stuff like that. You learn as you go or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think he would probably need to start them at least a couple of months ago before, if he was to take over by the end of the year or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah,
it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy, but we'll see what happens. What do you think for this one? Do you think United get a job done, or do you think Watford are going to upset them?
I'd like for Watford to upset them, but I think United will get the job done. I don't think it will be pretty, but they'll get it done. Nah,
I think United get the job done, and hopefully too, because I do really, really want Watford to go down this year. That'd be fantastic. Right, next game. Wolves-West Ham. Wolves hosting West Ham. Obviously, Wolves coming off of a pretty bad display, I would say, against us. I think that they weren't bad. They just didn't really do anything. Like their best opportunity was a free kick on the edge of the area that could have been a penalty if it was, a couple yards ahead.
Yeah.
But that was about it. Obviously, we did put on a good display. They've been pretty solid defensively, but we managed to overcome them. Obviously, West Ham on the other hand have just coming off beating Liverpool. They managed to get a private plane for Antonio to come back from the Jamaica duty.
From David Sullivan or whatever his name is.
Yeah. So he's going to be even a bit more sharper than he would have been otherwise. So
he scored a good goal as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did score a banging goal when their draw against the USA. I don't know if you saw, but the USA beat Mexico 2-0. We're going on about how on Twitter, all of their fans are going on Twitter about how they're going to win the next World Cup, and then they drew 1-1 with Jamaica.
Yeah.
Nothing against Jamaica, but if USA are what they say they are, they should not be drawing with Jamaica.
Other than Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie, I can't actually think of any other USA players off the top
Gio
of my head.
Reyna.
I'm not sure.
I feel like somehow he just is American. Yeah, Giovanni Reyna's American.
Yeah.
He's a good player, but he's picked up a horrible injury this year. He's out for the season, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, apart from that, they don't really have anyone that's Stefan,
the City
keeper.
Yeah. I think if the USA actually tried for 10, 15 years or whatever, put some proper funding, everything behind it and stuff, they could put out probably a fairly decent enough team. But
if they full sent it like they full send American football and basketball, they'd probably be the best team in the world.
Well, that's what I mean. They've got all the capabilities to be able to do so. They've got all the money they need to be able to do so. So, yeah, they've just got to do it really. But I think it's still very much one of those sports over there that you're like, oh, soccer. Like, soccer's not a proper sport or whatever. It's not an American sport because they haven't put their other than changing the name to soccer, they haven't put their American twist on it yet.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah.
No, but the thing is, America, we know what the deal with America is. We know what the deal is. They're cringy dons. They always will be. But back to West Ham. They're only going to have, it looks like, I did see a thing about Fornals, someone else. Potentially, they're a doubt for this game, which is not Rice with a bit of illness, I think. But to be honest, I reckon that there is a very good chance that both of those play. Obviously, the only one is Ogbonna out with obviously his horrible ACL injury, which was not great after his his contentious goal against
Alisson's own goal,
against Liverpool, which I think is fine, to be honest. Alisson made a stupid mistake. And yeah, Klopp's moaning gets on my tits, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Definitely.
He's up there with Christian Horner's moaning. But, but yeah, no. Who are they playing? So I've just lost all train of thought.
They're playing Wolves.
Wolves. Yeah. Yeah, I let's have a look at the Wolves injuries list. What they got? Martial is really the only one. Pedro Neto's obviously still out. But Martial is the one that's out that will actually genuinely affect them. Aside from that, they can start the same team that lost to us, which I'm imagining they will do. Somehow their manager thought that they played well against us, which is so jokes.
Yeah. I don't think they had an awful game against you guys, but they weren't. Well, they just couldn't convert anything. They just weren't doing a hell of a lot in the final third.
If you can't play if you could play just mediocre and not really trouble us at all, there's no chance of you doing anything against West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham are on a different level this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm convinced Palace are the fourth best Premier League team, London team at the moment.
I was going to say fourth best Premier League team.
No, sorry, fourth best Premier League London team. Yeah, well, we're better than Spurs right now. I won't hear from anyone that we're not, because we beat them 3-0 when we played them.
I'm assuming it goes Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal, Palace, Tottenham, and then whoever else you want to include after that, Watford.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. I may even put Brentford near Spurs. No, I'm joking. Well, they're not that far off.
Brentford aren't a London club anyway, are they? Essex.
Yeah. Well, they're East London or West London?
I think of. I always get through Brentford and Brentwood.
Yeah, Brentwood. You're thinking about that's in Essex.
Brentwood's in Essex.
Yeah, West London, Brentford, West London.
Yeah.
It's where people just do nothing's filmed.
Yeah.
Little bit for you, but yeah, I don't know, man. For me, West Ham, even though it's at the Molineux, for me, West Ham walk this. I think they win two, maybe 3-0.
I agree.
I think Jared Bowen, man, chef's kiss of a player this season. He's wicked, man. I really rate him. Is
it annoying the fact that he was on your transfer list and you were basically you were close enough?
We were close to signing him, but then, like, if it was now, I'd be yes.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Under
he's
Roy,
not a player.
Under Roy, he wouldn't have been utilised like this, and he would have just been turned into another Jordan Ayew.
That's the thing. Since he's been at West Ham, it's only this season really where he's really pulled his socks up and is getting a lot better. Last season, I don't know, was it all of last season he was there, or was it?
Yeah, he was there
all of last season. Yeah,
all of last season. He was pretty disappointing last season.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if he'd actually gone to Palace, he might not be the player he is now.
No, 100%, and I don't blame him, man. Like, you look at the Palace team, I don't blame an attacking player looking at Palace and thinking, under Roy Hodgson and thinking, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. If he had turned us down now, under Vieira, I'd be a bit more like, bro, you seen what's going on, innit? Like, you could, it is what it is. I mean, he wouldn't pick us over West Ham right now anyway. No. Which is fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's fair enough. But no, I really like Jared Bowen. I think he's a hell of a player. Interesting. I did see some links with Liverpool, and then apparently Steve McManaman said there would be no point to Liverpool signing Jared Bowen, which I kind of understand with the front three that they have. But that's not going to be the front three in 2 or 3 years' time, is it? Jared Bowen
might not even be the front three by this summer.
Yeah, true, exactly. Like, you never know what's going to happen, innit? Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting signing for sure. But I'm back in West Ham. I think they're going to get the job done here pretty all right. I don't think it's going to bother them too much. What about you, my man? I'm assuming you're back in the Irons.
Yeah, the Hammers. I've definitely back West Ham, to be fair. They've been a lot better than Wolves has been. I've not said Wolves haven't been awful, because they're definitely on a better sort of streak than they were. But yeah, West Ham is just on a different level this season. I don't think they're going to have too many issues.
Yeah, I really like watching them this season as well. They've been my team. They were like them and Villa, my teams outside of Palace that I was really enjoying watching this year. That aren't like a top 6 team. But Villa's disappointed me recently. Disappointed me in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, but yeah. So we're both back in West Ham for that win. Let's move on to the most important game of the season. The most important game of the week, not the season.
Yeah.
Burnley hosting Crystal Palace. Obviously, Burnley coming off of a hard-fought and well-earned draw, I would say, against Chelsea. Now, obviously, that story's very much different if Chelsea have just got any sort of scorer in that team. I know Kai Havertz obviously got the goal that put them ahead, but if they had Lukaku or Werner in that, I'm sure even Werner would have put more than one away in that game because they had lots of chances to do so. Obviously, Burnley just capitalised on an opportunity and it got them a goal. You can't blame them for that. Fair play, but it is what it is. Palace obviously coming off of a good 2 back-to-back good wins for them. 2-0 win against City and then a 2-0 win at home to Wolves. I think Eze's going to be on the bench for this game, which is going to be great. See him come back. There was obviously Joachim Andersen did pick up a slight knock for Denmark. He's come home, but he was training today, so I'm hoping that it's nothing serious and that he'll be okay. Obviously, apart from that, we pretty much just have Nathan Ferguson out. I think that's it. Just Nathan Ferguson and Eze, but I think Eze's going to be on the bench. He's been playing 90 minutes. He's played 2 or 3 games of 90 minutes for the under-23s in the last couple of weeks. So I think he'll be on the bench for this game. And then hopefully we'll come on at some point and probably bag 4 goals and 10 assists.
Jesus.
That's my prediction for him. We're winning this 14-0 apparently. But no, I mean, I think we're going to win this game. I know Burnley had a good result against Chelsea, but you know that would have exhausted them. I'm sure of it. That would have exhausted them.
Yeah,
And
I think
coming off a high like that, you always, you know, it's a lack of. You know what I mean?
I think they're lucky that they've kind of had the international break to recover from as well. As in, like, they've had a bit longer to recover than obviously just your standard, right, next week there's another game sort of thing. But yeah, they might plateau a bit from this from the high that they're on at the moment, or maybe drop down a little bit. But yeah, I can see them definitely be motivated for this game, but I think you guys will be the better team, and you've got a lot more about you.
We've got that confidence set in now as well.
That's it. One sort of fairly lucky-ish draw against Chelsea. I don't think that's going to do too much for them. Because, as I say, without the fact that they didn't have Lukaku and Werner and stuff like that, I think Chelsea probably would have done them in. But they were lucky in that sense, but they did well to capitalise on that and to get a point. But yeah, I don't think there's too much for you guys to worry about during this game.
No, I think we got the confidence behind us. You know, got back-to-back wins. You know, we're feeling good. Conor Gallagher just had his first call up to England. But obviously, Mark Gay scored for England in their whoever they play England under 23s in whatever game they were playing last weekend. I don't know, man. I think spirits are high, vibes are good. Eze's back. We're picking up a 3-0 win. I can feel it. A 3-0 win against Burnley. We're gonna put them to the sword. I can feel it. And then that'll put. So we have Wolves losing, right?
Yes, to West Ham. Yeah.
We have Tottenham. So this will put us. We'll go above Wolves. This could put us 8th. If we win this weekend, depending on other results go our way, could put us 8th. Could put us higher if every result goes our way. It could put us even higher. But yeah, I feel confident, man. It's the first time in a long time I felt this confident about Palace team. Maybe the first time ever I felt this confident about Palace team, if we're being real honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just enjoying football. I did not see this coming when the season started. I'm just enjoying football at the moment. It's I normally enjoy the Premier League season, bar Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
But
I've
now
not heard much relegation talk from you so far this season. Normally there's a couple of weeks where there's a little bit of, no, we're getting relegated, mate. It's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. Positive vibes, bro. I'm going to get a jumper that says positive vibes only. And I'm going to wear it.
Positive vibes, bro.
Yeah, just positive vibes, bro. Yeah, I just feel good, man. It's mental. We're 10th, man. Like, I was talking about you guys getting nosebleed. I'm getting a fucking nosebleed. And we're only 10th. But no, it's all good. It's all good vibes. Right, next game. Oh, all of these are getting pretty dreadful now, Ollie. I'm sorry. We'll get through these, man. Villa at home to Brighton. Steven Gerrard's first game in charge of the Villains. Let's have a look at what's their injury saying? Obviously, Marvelous Nakamba's out. That's not great. That's fine. Douglas Luiz, Danny Ings, and Morgan Sanson are all doubtful. If they can get those 3 players back, that's huge for them. And Traore's out as well. And Brighton. More, they got Robert Sanchez out, obviously picking up the red card in the game against Newcastle, where they drew 1-1. Mepu, Connolly, Dan Burn, Danny Welbeck, and Stephen Alzate are all potentially out as well. Quite a lengthy injury list they got themselves here, but obviously still got like their main guys, a Trossard and well, that's all I can think of.
Yeah, really. I was going to say you could say Mapai, but he's not.
Nah. Basuma, but we don't talk about Basuma on here because he is a scumbag.
He's going to jail.
But allegedly. But yeah, no, I'm gonna back Villa and Gerrard to get a win. I don't even believe it, but I'm gonna back it because I just can't back Brighton to win a game. You understand me with Tottenham. I just can't do it. So even though I don't believe it, I'm back in Aston Villa. What do you expect to see from Steven Gerrard and his Villa team in his first game, Ollie?
Hopefully a bit more than what Dean Smith was offering them in terms of creativity. Maybe I think he'll focus a bit more on the midfield because that's kind of his expertise as well. That's where he sort of made the name for himself and became Steven Gerrard. So yeah, Steven Gerrard, Stevie G. But yeah, no, I think they'll focus a lot more on the midfield, the creative side of things, and yeah, try and do a lot more with what they've got. Yeah, some of the players that you did mention, like Ings and stuff like that, hopefully they do, if they are fit and they can play, because I think that would do a lot more for them.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I think he'll move back to more like a 4-3-3, and probably move. I don't know what Bailey's going to be like, man, because he's been so touch and go at the moment with Villa. Like when he's played, he's been good, but he's also been picking up injuries, just not consistent. He played all right for Jamaica the other day, but I don't know, man. It's just.
I think with Leon Bailey, like you say, he's been very inconsistent. I think he loves to push forward, but he hates having to drop back and try and help his defenders out at all. I think he's not that sort of player. I don't think.
No,
but
not at all.
Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to back Villa. What do you think for this one, man? Brighton. Do you think that they can? I think they are the obvious choice, to be honest, to win this game.
Yeah.
But their last 4 run of games, it's not, draw, loss, draw. They are once again struggling to score.
I'm going to go for Villa. I'd like to see Gerrard get a win.
Yeah, Villa, man. But yeah, I think, I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen. It would be kind of jokes if Gerrard just didn't do very well.
He's absolutely spanked by fucking Brighton on his first game.
Oh god, I know it would be funny, but it would also be horrible because I
just
hate
Brighton.
If
it's any other team, it would be fine.
Exactly, but yeah, no, I'll back the villains. Why not? Jesus, don't feel confident in my choice at all, but I'll back the villains. Right, Newcastle at home to Brentford. Obviously, another manager's Eddie Howe's first game in charge of Newcastle. And things are slipping my mind today. It's getting later in the day. We'll get into those games where I just do not care. They're gonna. I don't know, man. I just don't trust Newcastle to do anything. But the thing is, Brentford have just been on a horrible slope of form at the moment, and it's just
the reality of the Premier League's hit them, I think.
And they have had injuries. They've obviously had Ayer out, Raya out, Wissa out, and it looks like Matthias Jensen's out as well. All huge players for them. They're gonna miss them all. They still have Ivan Toney and Mbeumo.
Yeah.
Mbeumo, who I think against this defense will definitely score. Definitely score. It's just can their defense hold back for an entire game and not let something lucky from Callum Wilson or St. Maximin in the hen house.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe if they can. I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. I think that's definitely something that could happen in this game.
Yeah. Well, I'm inclined to agree with you, to be fair. I think Brentford could possibly capitalise and get a win, but maybe a 2-1. But yeah, I think my heart is telling me it might be a draw.
Yeah, it could just be a really awful, boring game.
Yeah, I think this will be the boring game of the weekend. There might be a couple.
Oh,
but I think
don't count
this
it too soon because the next one coming up is pretty awful. Norwich at home to Southampton.
I think Southampton have got a little bit more about them compared to Newcastle and Brentford, but I say that they've not been great, have they?
No, but they have got a few players coming back to from injury. I think they've got I think Broja is coming back.
Broja,
I think Broja, Livramento, and Ward-Prowse are all coming back. 3 big players.
Definitely.
Obviously Norwich, another team with a new manager coming through. A new manager for them, not for us as fans. Obviously Dean Smith just losing his job in Villa, getting his job at Norwich. Now I don't know if this has ever happened before, but Southampton have the opportunity to beat the same manager in back-to-back Premier League games on different teams.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be quite interesting. Obviously, I kind of want to back Southampton just for that, just for that shithousery. But I don't like Southampton in the slightest.
No, I think the only good thing I like about Southampton at the moment is that Broja kid, because he's just young.
I like Livramento as well.
And
I'm a
him
big,
as well,
I
yeah, to
really
be
like
fair.
Livramento. I think he's a really good player. And I've
I
got
didn't
a feeling
realise for the
he's
longest
English.
time that I was going to say I didn't realise for the longest time that he is English. He
Yeah,
plays for the under 21s, I think.
Valentino Livramento.
Exactly, does not sound English at all.
Oi,
but-
oi. Oh, shit. Born 12th of November
Oh, yeah.
in Croydon.
Just a different year, I assume.
Yeah, 2002.
So only the 7 years after you.
Yeah. I'm a better baller than him as well. No, he's wicked. I back him way more than I thought I even did before. He's a Croydon boy. He's a 12th of November boy like me. Jesus Christ, I'm 7 years older than him. That's horrible.
Oh no,
That is horrible.
I miss being like the same age as all these young
Well, so
promising
I was in-
footballers that are coming through.
I was in sixth form when he was starting secondary school.
God.
Jesus Christ, that is a thing. Just get, I mean, Ollie, I'm just gonna get a quick word from you, and then we're wrapping this up. That whole thing has just depressed the hell out of me. What do you think, man?
I'm gonna go for a Southampton win 1-0. Nothing impressive really.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1. I think Norwich get a goal. I just think through Dean Smith that maybe something could change.
Yeah.
I still think they're gonna go down. But
They won their last game, which was
they did
very
win their last
unexpected.
against Brentford.
Yeah, and they also have got a new manager. So sometimes the combination of the win after 20 odd games without one, or however long it was,
Very
and
true.
the combination of a sort of a new manager that might spur him on to do something. But yeah, I still think it's probably Southampton can do him in.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Southampton will get the result here. Annoyingly, I don't want them to because they're far more of a. Well, I don't even think they're that much of a. Actually, they will go above us if they win and we lose. So they are a little bit of a threat to us, to be fair. But yeah, so I'll back Southampton. But that's it. That's match week 12 in the books, Ollie. For us anyway. But yeah, match week 13 coming up very soon.
The review of game week 12 first on Tuesday.
Of course, on
And
Tuesday.
then,
Yeah.
Then we've
And
got
then
we can
move.
start previewing some transfer rumours soon as well with the January transfer window
coming
coming
up.
up.
There's a big one that I want to talk about involving a certain on loan Palace player.
I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, we'll put a wave. We'll put to half an hour aside just so you can talk about that, and then we'll.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need it. We might need a whole podcast. I just talk about him for days, bro. Connor, bro, if you're watching, innit, just sign.
The one thing I will say to you, mate, is just don't get your hopes up too much. Just
Bro,
because
my hopes can't be up when it's 100% happening. Like,
this is the thing, mate. Because this is what happened with Jesse
I've been
Lingard.
through it, bro. I've been through it with Loftus-Cheek, bro. I've already been.
I already think that Conor Gallagher was more impressive than Loftus-Cheek.
Oh yeah,
in the
but
Palace
I think
days. Yeah,
there's a genuine argument that Conor Gallagher is a top 5 player that's ever played at our club. There genuinely is. He is an amazing
Oh,
football player.
God.
He's such a baller, bruv. It's a genuine argument you could make, but and I'd listen to it. But yeah, we're gonna leave things there, guys. Yeah, we'll come back with we'll probably do. We're trying to figure out a new sort of system with the videos and stuff at the moment, and how we want to do like maybe previews and reviews in one episode, and then do like a miscellaneous. I think we literally said this last time on the podcast.
Don't know. We might have done. We might
Probably did.
Yeah.
Probably did. But we will be getting into that conversation very soon with. To be honest, as long as we do it, it doesn't matter about everyone else. As long as we okay it, we're the ones that hear every week.
Yeah,
But
exactly, mate.
yeah, we'll just do it. But yeah, no, we'll get that sorted, and then yeah, we'll have some old style videos. You know, the kits, reactions, and some manager rankings,
Top 10
all
lists,
that
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we'll be doing all that good stuff again. Don't you worry, that'll be coming back. But yeah, thanks for joining me tonight, Ollie.
It's all right, mate. Thanks for
It
having
was
me.
good fun. No bother. And but yeah, you guys know what to do. It's above us right now. Follow
All
them
them
all.
things.
Follow them all. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, Apple Music. They're all there. Just follow them. This will be coming out. You know how it is. Tuesday streaming, Wednesday out, Thursday streaming, Saturday out. that's how it goes. And yeah, we will see you all next week. For the we'll be reviewing this week's game of football, and then we'll see you then. Yeah. I've got the most fried brain today ever. Honestly, like it's been a long day.
I like your hoodie, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, do you like it?
Dude, very nice.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what. I was wearing. Quick story before we go. I was in Tesco, and I had my backpack on, and
oh no, I already know what this is going to be.
Yeah, where the arm was, it was just blocking the Y, and you could sort of still make out the H. So it just looked like I had the Foot Fetish podcast on my on my chest.
My neighbours have already called that out to me as well. It's the Foot Fetish podcast. No, Footy Fetish. Football. You know.
But, I mean, ironically, we all have massive foot fetishes. So maybe it should just be the Foot Fetish podcast. Who
Speak
knows?
for yourself. On that note.
So yeah, I'll laters, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.